First, the single number rule. One Sudoku strategy would be if there may be some instances that your puzzle will be leaving a remaining number option that is available, thus this will be the number that will go to the square that is empty. You may be able to conclude this by scanning through the different groups of numbers from each row, column, or region. Second, the single option rule. In case you're looking at a single square that several times will encounter one possibility for that square, this is called the single option. But the manner that the groups will be intersecting may have one or more unallocated cells that have one more possibility existing. Yet only a single option is existing for the cell. Then there is no other option but for that number to be in that square. Third, the mere square or cell rule. There are several times that you will be able to encounter a group of squares or cells wherein only a single square can take a certain number. For instance, if the group of square or cells have 7 squares or cells allocated with mere 2 numbers to allocate, there are cases that there would be shared or intersecting groups that may not go in one of these 2 squares or cells. Thus, it must go to the other one. The player is left with just a mere square or cells where the number can be placed in. 4. 2 out of 3 number rule. Another example of a Sudoku strategy involves a special scenario of the mere square or cell rule. Some experts of this game will be referring to this as the slotting and slicing. This is considered as a fast way for you to spot a square to solve it easy in your memory by scanning the grids of the puzzle. Most of the time, you will be able to search for a square or 2 squares that you can immediately give a solution to. The rule of this Sudoku strategy is scanning the rows and columns in threes to view if there would be anywhere else that the number can be allocated to. If you were able to find the place of the 2 numbers, then the missing one can go in one of the remaining squares for you to allocate. 5. Exclusion of the subgroup of numbers rule. Although this is rarely required in Sudoku, this useful strategy states that instead that you force to allocate a number to a specific square, through logic you can exclude the possibilities first. If you exclude option for that cell, then it may mean that another option may be assigned there, as it is the mere other option for you. 6. The general permutation rule. There would be times that you may already identify from the permutation of the numbers 1 to 9 that this is to be restricted to the same number of cells that you have. This is similar to the single option and the single number rule. 7. The swordfish and X-wing rule. One of the complex Sudoku tactics is the X-wing, which is a kind of swordfish Sudoku strategy. When a player looks for permutations or groups of numbers, then you can already restrict yourself to certain possibilities within one group. The strategy requires looking at the multiple groups at one time. It may be forming the corners of a certain box. The squares may be the only squares permitted for that number in that column or row. In case that number spotted has occurred at the top left of your puzzle, then it must also occur at the bottom right of the box. 8. The trial and error or backtracking rule. If all of the other strategies have seemed to fail, then one Sudoku strategy is bound to work. It is just a matter of looking at the puzzle logically for all the other alternatives that each row, column, or region should have. You may begin with a certain cell and choosing one number from the available possibilities. Want to get a 77-page ebook on how to become an expert at Sudoku for absolutely free? Then simply click the link next to this video to take advantage of this limited time offer.